everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to feed your family for £2. This isn't £2 a head, this is £2 in total. I have a family of 4, so I am feeding us all for 50p a head or less. So if you like this kind of video, then I would love for you to subscribe because I love cooking on a budget. I love cooking. So if you want some meal inspiration, then press the subscribe button down below because I would love to have you as one of my viewers. So today I'm going to be showing you 4 meals. All of them are £2 and under. They do not contain much meat because meat is quite expensive. But if you're a veggie or a vegan, then so many of these meals will appeal to you. And if I have included any dairy and you are vegan, then you can simply take them out of the meal too. And they will just be as delicious, I promise. So with all that said, let's get on to meal number 1. Right, so the ingredients we're going to use today are half of this soft cheese. This was 49p, so that's 25p when I use half. We're using half of like a pack of bacon. This was £1.50 and you get 10 rashers in there. So I'm using 5 of the rashers, so obviously that's 75p. I've already used the other half, which is why this pack is open. I have a stock cube, which is working at a 12p, as you get 12 in a pack and I'm using 1. Some diced onions working out at 10p for the portion I'm going to be using. Garlic, 15p for the portion. Spaghetti, this was 50p for the pack, but I'm going to probably use 3/4 of the pack, so that's going to be 38p. And finally, some peas. That's 1 kilo there for £1.30, so I'll probably use about 100 grams of it. So this meal is going to cost you £2 and 1p, so I am 1p over budget. I hope you will forgive me. Right, so this carbonara is so easy. All you need to do is chop up your bacon to start with and fry it off until it gets nice and crispy, because I think that's what makes a carbonara so nice. You can also do this with ham as well, or a gammon joint as well, and you'll use even less of it. But this I found was the cheapest way of doing it, to use half a pack of bacon instead. Once that's fried off and nice and brown and crispy, you then want to add in your garlic and your onions. Fry those off for a little bit, and then you want to add in your soft cheese, your stock cube, some water as well to obviously make it watery to kind of feed the stock cube. And then once that's done, add in the peas at the last minute and let them defrost. And obviously while that's all cooking, you will be cooking your pasta as well. And once that's cooked, add it all together, and it is a really, really nice dinner for £2 and 1p. Right, so tonight we are going to be making a chickpea curry. This literally comes in at £2 on the dot. We need some spinach leaves. I've got some frozen ones here. This was £1.50 to buy the whole bag, and I'll use about 6. So it'll be about 25p. We've got a coconut milk, that was 75p. Some East End chickpeas, which were 40p. Some rice, so this was £1.60, but I'm gonna only use about 1/4, which works out to be 40p. We've got stock cubes, so I bought 24 stock cubes here, £2.40 for 24. So broken down, as I only use 1, it means I'm gonna be using 10p's worth of stock cubes today. We've got some frozen onions, and I'll be using 10p's worth of those. And then we do have all these spices. Now, if I'm going to be totally honest with you, I haven't counted in the like monetary value of these because they last forever. I've got ginger, cumin, garam masala and turmeric here, and I use them in so many recipes, and they honestly do just last forever. So I mean, this will only be a couple of pence. So if all of this is £2, maybe I'm adding a couple of extra pence on here, but I'm not going to count those. I hope that's okay. But if you buy these, you know, they might set you back initially, but then you'll just use them in so many different meals. So we've got a meal here for £2. Let's get cooking. I have made this in a few videos before, but I wanted to show you how cheap it is to make because it does come in at £2, so I wanted to add it into this video, and also because it's so easy to make and I just think it's delicious. My kids love it and I'm hoping your kids will too. So this meal couldn't be easier to make. Literally all you need to do is chuck everything into your pan. I always put my onions and my spinach in first because they're frozen, so I pop them in there on the lowish kind of heat to defrost them and brown them off a little bit. Then you want to add in your chickpeas, add in your coconut milk and your stock, and then let that simmer for a little while. Add in all of your spices. When I put my spices in, I literally just guesstimate what I'm putting in, to be honest. So just go for it, do a little taste test after a while. If you need a bit more, add a bit more in. And then once you've got about half an hour to go, I'm going to put my rice in with my mixture instead of cooking it separately today, because it's just so much easier. It's a one pot meal. You have one thing to wash up at the end of it, and I mean, who doesn't love that? Half an hour to go, pop your rice in with the liquid just on simmer. Add a little bit of water as well, and then leave it for half an hour until it's nice and cooked through, and that's your meal done. How easy is that? Right, so for this meal, here is everything that I'll be using. So I have got a bag of onions. These are £1 to buy, but I think I'll be using like a tenth of them, if that, so 10p. Right, next I've got the garlic. This is £1.50 to buy, but again, I think like a tenth, if that, to be honest. So I'm gonna say that's 15p. I've got some chopped tomatoes to make my pasta sauce. So in the chopped tomatoes, we're gonna have the onion and the garlic. Chopped tomatoes, 1.35 for 4 tins. So obviously a fourth of that is 33p. I have got some peppers. These are £1.15 to buy. These are the cooking peppers, and I will probably use 1, maybe 2 peppers. So I worked out that each pepper is like 12p. So if I use 1, then it would just be 12p or 24p. I will use half of this cream cheese. It was 49p for this, and I will use half, so that's 25p. I will use a vegetable stock. So I got this in a pack of 12 for £1.39. I'll use 1, which is 12p. And then I have got my pasta. This was 50p. I'll probably use 3/4. So that will work out at 38p. And then this whole garlic bread, I'm not kidding you, was 32p. I mean, it's not even like a Tesco value one or anything like that. It is 32p. So all in all, this meal is going to be coming in at £1.77 if I use 1 pepper. If I use 2, because it's under £2, I'm either going to use 2, or I thought I might put a little bit of grated cheese on the top of the pasta once it's ready. I don't like to buy jarred pasta sauces because, for 2 reasons. 1, they're more expensive than what I can make at home, and 2, they are full of sugar. So what I put in my pasta sauce is obviously chopped tomatoes and peppers, which are 2 of their 5 a day. So I know this meal has no added sugar in it, and I also know that it is a healthy, like wholesome meal. This is a meal that I make at least once a week, and it just helps bring my food shopping bill down so much. Right, so I'm going to start off by adding the onions and the garlic to a pan and just heating them through and browning them off. I love using frozen onions and garlics because they're just so easy. It's diced already for you. It's all chopped up already. You don't have to like de-skin it. And if you're a busy mum or a busy person coming in from work, you don't want to start chopping onions. I know it's lazy, but it's convenient. Right, so I found a really big pepper in there, so I decided to use just 1. So I am on my £1.77 budget. So I do think the boys will want a little bit of grated cheese over the top. So I've just cut this really kind of in small chunks. Add that in, give it a bit of a fry off as well. Then you want to add in your chopped tomatoes and your stock cube. And if you want a little bit of salt and pepper or things like that, I'm not going to count salt and pepper in my budget because, I mean, there's literally pennies. So we're just going to kind of go for the main ingredients here. Right, so once my tomato and pepper mix has kind of been cooking for a while and gone a bit softer, I will then go in and add the cream cheese. This just makes it really nice and creamy without using cream. The boys really like this meal, and obviously you can leave this out, which will then make it even cheaper, but we do like to add it because it is just delicious. Once you've given everything a good mix around, you just want to put this on really low, like to simmer just until your pasta and your garlic bread are ready. So if your kids aren't a fan of the kind of chunks of tomato and pepper in here, you can always blitz this up so it becomes a smooth sauce instead. Right, so for tonight's meal, we're making like a 5-bean chili type thing. What you're going to need is a tin of mixed beans, which is 65p. Chopped tomatoes in a pack of 4 is 1.35, so 1 of them is 33p. Some garlic, 15p, the portion I'll be using. Onions, 10p. The portion of rice that I'll be using here works out at 40p, because I'll just be using a quarter of it, and it was £1.60 to buy. I'm also going to be using this vegetable stock, and like I said in my last meal, I found 24 of these for £2.40, so it works out at 10p a stock cube. I'm going to use 1 of these cooking peppers, which works out at 12p a pepper because they're £1.15 for the bag, so it works out at 12p a pepper. And what you're also going to need is some paprika. So I've said I'm going to use like 10p's worth of that. So this whole meal works out to be £1.97. But what I did want to add is if you didn't want to have the rice and you wanted to go with a garlic bread instead, the garlic bread I showed you before was 32p. So if you go for that, you can knock 8p off this meal. So instead of being 1.97, it would be 1.89. So you can go even cheaper than this right here. Let's get cooking. Right, so tonight's meal again can be a one-pot meal because you can cook the rice in with the kind of chili mixture as well, but I am going to cook them separately today just to show you a little bit of variation. So what you're going to need to do is just pop in your onions and your garlic into the pan and brown them off a little bit. Then you just want to add in all your other ingredients, your peppers, which are cut into kind of small chunks, paprika. Again, I just guesstimate how much paprika to use. I don't have any quantities to give you, I'm afraid, but just try it. This paprika is not spicy at all. It just gives it a really nice flavor. So if you're looking to buy paprika, then this Tesco one is a really good one to go for. Your vegetable stock, your mixed beans, your chopped tomatoes. Also add a little bit of water into your mixture as well, just to kind of feed the stock a little bit. I quite like to make this meal during the daytime because then I just feel like all the beans take on the really nice flavors of the paprika and the vegetable stock, and also because the mixed beans are in a spicy kind of tomato sauce already, the chopped tomatoes will also take on those flavorings as well. You can also add some salt and pepper to it as well, which brings out the flavor even more. Just cook your rice separately 20 minutes before you're ready to have dinner, and that's your dinner complete. So easy, so quick, and it is so tasty too. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and it gave you a little bit of inspiration and just shows you that you really can feed your family healthy meals on a budget. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.